Genesis 37, the Passion Translation. The story of Joseph, verse 1. This is a story of the family of Jacob, who had settled in the land of Canaan, where his father Isaac had lived as an immigrant. Jacob's son Joseph was 17 when he served his older half-brothers, the sons of his father's wives Bilhah and Zilpah, helping them watch over the flocks. One day, Joseph went to his father with a bad report about their behavior. Now Israel's love for Joseph surpassed that of his other sons, because he was born to him in old age. So Israel made him a richly ornamented robe. When Joseph's brothers saw that their father loved him more than he loved them, they hated him, and they would not speak a kind word to him. One night, Joseph had a dream, and when he shared it with his brothers, they hated him even more. "Listen to this dream I had," he told them. "There we were, binding sheaves of grain in the field. Suddenly my sheaf rose up and stood upright. Then your sheaves gathered around mine and bowed down to mine." His brothers asked him, "Oh, so do you think you're going to be our king? Do you actually think you're destined to rule over us?" So the dream that he told them about made them hate him even more. Then another night he had a dream, and he shared it with his brothers, saying, "Listen, I had another dream. This time the sun and moon and 11 stars were bowing down to me." When his father and brothers heard it, his father scolded him. "What kind of dream is that? Do you really think that I and your mother and your brothers are going to come and bow to the ground before you?" So his brothers grew more jealous of him, but his father kept pondering Joseph's dream. Joseph sold by his brothers, verse 12. One day, when his brothers had gone to Shechem to care for their father's flock, Israel called out to Joseph and said to him, "Your brothers are grazing the flocks near Shechem. I want you to go join them." "Yes, father, I'll go," Joseph replied. Jacob added, "Go find out how your brothers are doing it with the flocks and bring back word to me." So his father sent him off the valley of Hebron. When Joseph arrived at Shechem and began to roam the countryside looking for his brothers, a man approached him and asked, "What are you looking for?" "I'm looking for my brothers who are taking care of their flock," he answered. "Please tell me, do you know where they are?" The man replied, "They left here already. I overheard them mention that they were going to Dothan." So Joseph took off to catch up with his brothers and found them at Dothan. As he was still a long distance away, the brothers recognized him by his robe, and by the time he reached them, they had plotted together to kill him. They said to each other, "Here comes this dream expert. Let's kill him and throw his body into one of these dry wells. We can say that a wild animal ate him, then we'll see how his dream turns out." When Reuben heard this, he tried to save Joseph's life. "Don't take his life," he said. "No bloodshed. Let's throw him into this pit in the middle of nowhere, but don't hurt him." Reuben said these things because he planned to return later to rescue Joseph and take him back to his father. When Joseph finally caught up with his brothers, they seized him, stripped him of his ornamental robe, his beautiful full-length robe, and threw him into the dry, empty pit. Afterwards, the brothers sat down to eat their food, and they looked up. They saw a caravan of Ishmaelite merchants coming from Gilead on their way to Egypt. They had many camels loaded up with myrrh, spices, and perfume. Judah spoke up to his brothers, "What will we gain by murdering our brother and covering up his blood? I have an idea. Let's sell Joseph to these Ishmaelites and not lay a hand on him, for he is our brother and our own flesh and blood." His brothers agreed. And when the Midianites, also known as the Ishmaelites, came by, Joseph's brothers lifted him up out of the pit and sold him to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver, and the merchants took Joseph far away to Egypt. Later, Reuben went to the pit and saw that Joseph was gone. He was overcome with grief and tore his clothes. He went to his brothers and said, "The boy is gone. What am I going to do now?" Then they took Joseph's colorful robe, killed a goat, and dipped the robe in its blood. They took the blood-stained robe back to their father and said, "We found this. Look it over. Doesn't it belong to your son?" Jacob recognized it instantly and cried out, "It's my son's robe. Some wild animal must have killed him. My son Joseph has been torn to pieces." Overcome with grief, Jacob tore his clothes, put on sackcloth, and mourned for his son a long time. All his sons and daughters came and tried to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. He told them, "No, I will mourn for him the rest of my life, until I join my son in the realm of the dead." Joseph's father wept and wept for his son. Meanwhile, the Midianites took Joseph to Egypt and sold him to Potiphar, one of Pharaoh's officials, the captain of the guard.